salutations, my dearest friends. My name is Samantha, and today is going to be another chaotic reading vlog where I read quite possibly the craziest fucking book I've ever read before. Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. I would like to start this by saying I did not intend to film today. No, I did not. I just got off of work. My makeup is melting off my face. And I am currently reading our historical hellion pick. What the fuck? Hold on, I have to put you guys down to like give you the tea on what's happening. Hold on. What is happening right now? You want to know? What is going on? I feel like the lighting in this video is so blown out right now. You guys didn't know, I host a historical romance book club with my dear friend Jessica from Peace of Books, who I love endlessly. She's amazing and wonderful and beautiful and so kind and has the best taste in books. So we host a historical romance book club together. This is our third year hosting it, which is insane. That's insanity. Historical Hellions is a book club where we read historical romances published before the year 2000. We pick one book each month and then we alternate on each other's channels where we have live shows. We've had some good ones, we've had some bad ones, we've had some okay ones. Oftentimes we joke that old historicals are just bonkers and crazy and we live for the drama, we live for the telenovela energy. I don't think we've ever had a book that is this fucking nuts. This month's pick was Skye O'Malley by Bertrice Small. I did not intend to film this whatsoever. Our live show is tomorrow, okay? I started this book today as I'm talking to you guys. This is a 21-hour audiobook. Yeah, I really didn't give myself enough time to read this. I do that often. It is what it is. The reason we picked this one is because I believe it's getting a show or a movie, some type of adaptation, and we were like, oh, let's read it and maybe we'll watch the adaptation. Like, that would be fun, cool, awesome. Didn't know the plot to it. I still don't actually know the plot to it, to be fair, to be honest. A 1-hour audiobook. Okay, when I downloaded this audiobook on Audible, my phone storage immediately was full. Immediately, all my apps slowed down, immediately told me I needed to delete some shit. That's how much storage it was taking up on my phone. So who let us pick a 21-hour audiobook knowing damn well that me and Jessica are gonna read it the night before? The math is not mathing on the time that I give myself to read a book. Just want to know what the average rating is, because this book is literally insane, but I'm kind of loving it. Like, I go back and forth of like how I feel. Oh, it's a whole series? Wow. Okay, it has an average 4.27 rating on Goodreads. That is a really good rating. Is it Beatrice or Bertrice Small? I'm going to give you a condensed version of what I thought this book was in the beginning. And then we will go into the spoilers later in this video. So, it follows our heroine, Skye O'Malley, the title of this book. Her dad wanted sons, he got a bunch of daughters, but she is not like other girls. She knows how to ride a horse astride. She is betrothed as a wee little child, as she is. I don't know what that was, what accent that was, but she's betrothed as a young child, as is common in that age, in that time period. Speaking of ages, our heroine is 15 in this book, okay? In my brain, in my little noggin, she's like 19, 20, okay? In my brain. Just for my sanity, I'm gonna pretend she's not 15. But she's 15. Finally, it is time for her to marry. In fact, her father thinks she's too old and she should have married at 13. Again, my brain, she's like 18, she's like 19. So she's betrothed to marry this guy, and he's garbage, he's trash, he's horrible, he's ugly, she's not attracted to him, he's abusive, just so many things, right? Doesn't want to marry him, is fighting the marriage, but her dad is like, no, you're gonna marry him because you were betrothed to him and I'm gonna keep my word, blah, 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 blah. The day of her wedding, the night before her wedding, a couple days before her wedding, stay with me, she meets Neil, our hero? Question mark? She meets this guy that she is just madly, deeply crazy in love with. Okay, it is love at first sight. Connection, chemistry, the stars are aligning, the vibes are vibing. Both of them are like, whoa, I'm in love with you. Fated mate status, okay? Perfect, we need to be together. I'm gonna move heaven and earth to be together. And then it follows the romance from there. But like, so much shit is happening. They're gonna go through a lot of trials and tribulations, as you will see in this video. So it follows Really, the journey of Skye O'Malley, I struggle to call this a romance so far because it honestly is her crazy ass journey and the things that she's been through. We're gonna read this together. We're gonna go through this together. We're gonna suffer possibly together. And I don't know what you're gonna gain from this video. I truly don't, because I don't know what I'm gaining from this. Right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a bubble bath, I'm gonna play a cozy game, and I'm hoping to finish this book tonight. If not, I do work tomorrow before the live show, so I can maybe listen to it a little bit then, right before the live show, but I'm hoping to finish tonight. What the fuck is going on? Before I go in the bath, I'm gonna tell you my takeaways. Men are trash, always and forever. Doesn't matter what fucking time period. Never underestimate a woman. Never. And Dijon mustard was created in 1336. Why I thought that was like a modern times thing? No. Dijon mustard was created in 1336. Just in case you didn't know. Because they were over here eating like turkey with some mustard. And I was like, Dijon mustard? Was that accurate to the time? Yeah, it was. And I don't know why that really stuck out to me, but it did. So in case you were curious, 1336. Listen, I understand this is a romance, but do our characters end up together? Have our hero wrong? Am I thinking, like, and then I read the synopsis and the hero's name is not in the synopsis. So I'm like, is this her guy? It's not a women's fiction. It's not historical fiction. What the fuck is this book? Okay, I know that I have this fucking book. I know it. Let me move my chair out of the way. I know I have it. It's somewhere here. There. I don't know where this book is, and I desperately want it in my grubby little hands so I can annotate every single time I say what the fuck. Because what the fuck? Alphabetically, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. This is S. Bertrice Small. Oh my god, it's right here. Okay, Deceived, All the Sweet Tomorrows, A Moment in Time. Moment in Time. We read this one for the historical hellions, and this one is kind of like a time travel romance, and it's crazy as well. It's very, very crazy. We read that last year or maybe the year before. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, you know what? I have some yeah, hold on. Okay, yeah. I have these. I have The Spitfire by Bertrice Small, and Love Remember Me. No Skye O'Malley. Why? Also, I kind of live for historicals like in this size. Like, they're just like floppy and the covers are so gorgeous. Just look at the flappiness. Look at the flappiness. Would it be in my closet? I have a lot of books in the closet. You don't want to see. You don't want to see. I'm not gonna show you. Those are the books in the closet. I have a whole stack, and then right here it goes like pretty deep, and I have even more historicals, and they're just like stacked right there. Things have things have progressed, and they're getting crazy and crazy. This book is wild. I've never read a book like this. Think right now, think in your mind. Let's think together. Think of every crazy, wild telenovela twist that you can put in your mind. Think of it and just like throw it out the window because it's even crazier than that. Though, wait, hold on. I do have to say something serious. You do need to read the trigger warnings if you decide to read this book. Our heroine goes through a lot, and there's a lot of there's a lot of mentions of assault in this book. A lot of it. And our heroine goes through so much. I think my mind is just exploding. Like, I literally can't even give you a proper explanation of this book because my mind is exploding. It's crazy. Me and Jessica are literally just texting each other back and forth like, what the fuck? What is happening? Oh, this happened? Oh, wait, this happened? Oh, now this is happening? Excuse me? Their amnesia? What? Guys, I'm literally like, I look a mess. I'm breaking out. It's just, I feel confused, bamboozled, hoodwinked, if you will. I stayed up till like 1 o'clock in the morning. I work today. That's why I'm sitting in this god-awful car, in this god-awful parking lot. Just ran inside and got some coffee, and then I'm gonna head to work right now. But like, ugh. I have 2 hours left of this book. That means I have gone through 19 hours of this audiobook. And the person that, like, her fated mate, her soulmate, the man she loves, the guy you meet in the beginning and you're like, oh, this is the hero, she's still not with him. Talk about trials and tribulations. And then I literally posted on my Instagram because I was like, please fucking tell me characters end up together. Please tell me this is an actual romance and there's a happy ending, because the way it's looking, it doesn't look good for Miss Skye O'Malley. No, it doesn't. Okay, she goes through some shit. And someone messaged me and they were like, yes, like in the end, they do end up together. However, the second book continues to follow Skye O'Malley and is even crazier than the first book. I don't know how that's physically possible. Like, I don't know what is left to, like, throw at us at this point. But, like, now I'm reading the second book. I went to a small coffee shop by me and I got a pumpkin something. I don't know. I saw it on the board and it looked yummy. Got a little breakfast sandwich. If there's one thing about me, I'm always going to get a treat. I'm always going to get a treat. A cookie, a piece of cake, a cake pop. I need a treat. So I got myself this pumpkin spice cupcake. And it has, like, a little pumpkin on top. And it's so cute. And I'm going to eat that while it works. Consider this a romance. I don't know. I really don't. That was cutting it so close, you guys. I was cutting it so close. It's about an hour and a half before the live show. I'm about to hop on the live show. I just finished my makeup and I just finished the book. I know, cutting it close as always. I'm always reading the books last minute. This one is probably my favorite book pick that we've picked, because I've never been so invested in a book or a show or anything as much as I have this book. Like, I was invested. I needed to take notes to, like, really understand what was going on, because we have so many tropes going on. We have arranged marriage, we have pirates, we have fated mates, we have second chance romance, we have amnesia, we have surprise pregnancy. Like, we literally have any trope that you can think of. It's in this book. I'm gonna hop on the live show with Lisa from Remarkably Lisa and Jessica from Peace Love Books, and we're gonna chat about the book. But if you guys missed that live show, you can watch it on the replay, or obviously you're watching this vlog. But I finished it and I really did enjoy it. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars, but I don't know. I'm still debating on my rating. Okay, some final thoughts before I spoil everything for you guys. Everyone is just going through so much, but she continues to be this strong, independent, passionate, kind, intelligent woman. I am just, like, endlessly impressed by the character of Skye O'Malley. I'm continuously not impressed with, like, the scheming men. Totally see why it was so long. I definitely can, because you're following truly the journey of Skye O'Malley, and you're following her through, like, almost a decade and everything she goes through during this time. There's political intrigue, because this is also taking place during the time of Queen, what is her name? Queen Elizabeth, sorry. The only reason I'm giving it 4 stars is because towards the end, I would say the last hour of the book, there really was just too much of nothing happening. Like, the plot twist slowed down, and then it just felt like we were getting, like, very lyrical, over descriptive writing for no reason. If you don't want to get through this book because it is long, I want you guys to understand why I was freaking out the entire time. And I know some people aren't into historicals, but you guys want to know the tea, and I'm here for the tea. For those of you who don't want to be spoiled, tenga buen dia. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will be reading the second book because, oh, before you guys leave, the second book in this series follows Skye O'Malley. It's continuing to follow her. That's my last update. Like I said, tenga buen dia. Thank you so much for watching this video. Okay, bye. Oh my God, you guys would not believe the notes. These are my notes. These are my, it's going and going and going. There it stops. Did you see that I was scrolling for days? These are my notes as I'm reading this book. I had to take notes. I needed to know, like, what was going on. I had to keep things in order. There was a part 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to go through my notes right now and tell you all the drama. Okay. Beginning of the book, part 1. Skye O'Malley. We meet her. Okay. She's not like other girls. She's a bad bitch. She's her dad's favorite. But she's betrothed to someone awful. Dom. We hate him. Fuck that bitch. Day of her wedding, she meets Neil, who knows, who she immediately falls in love with. Love at first sight. They're kind of like fated mates. It's real cute. Okay, they have a little moment in the garden. But she's betrothed to someone else, okay? She's 15 and Neil is 25. But in my mind, They were both 18. Okay, moving on. To get her stepmom to help convince her dad to marry the man she loves, Neil, and like break this betrothal agreement. But her stepmom gives birth to her brother. She's pregnant. Her stepmom's pregnant, so she can't help her. Okay, she's like, girl, you on your own with this one. Skye's dad does not agree to break the arrangement. Doesn't agree to break the wedding. And also Neil's dad doesn't approve of the wedding. So their families don't want them to get married. So she ends up marrying the bad guy, Dom. Okay, he's an asshole. He's abusive. Remember that. So Neil is like a clan leader. I don't know exactly what he is. He is like the heir of his, he's the only heir to his father's kingdom. I don't know. He holds some importance. She marries Dom. Yeah, she does. They kind of like drug her low-key, and she marries him while she's like under, I don't know, sedatives. Poor Skye, man. This whole book, like, poor Skye. Anyways, she marries the bad guy. They're about to have their wedding night. She's terrified because this guy is like abusing all of like the maids in the house, and she knows that he's gonna abuse her too. So Neil comes and is like, girl, I got you. I'm claiming your virginity because it's my right as the clan leader to do that. So he like basically says that because he has like a higher title, he gets to have sex with her first. Okay, so he plans to impregnate her so that she can get out of the marriage. I don't really know how the logistics to that work, but it does end up working. Okay, he ends up sleeping with her. They have a wonderful night. The imagery of the sex scenes in this book, I put a note right here. It says, he fills her with his creamy juices. Bertrice Small, you are so fucking wrong for that. Anyways, moving on. So, filling with the creamy juices, hoping that she gets pregnant, and he plans on annulling the marriage because she could potentially be pregnant with his son, the only heir to their kingdom. Moving on. Her father, Skye's father, does not approve of the marriage, so he kidnaps Neil, kidnaps him, takes him away on a ship. Skye thinks that Neil abandoned her, and then they write a letter pretending to be Skye, saying that she wants nothing to do with Neil, and send it to him. So Skye thinks that Neil abandoned her, and Neil thinks that Skye abandoned him, but really it was their family scheming together. Okay. But she might be pregnant with his child, so she has to go to a nunnery. She goes to a nunnery and waits there for a couple months to make sure that she's not pregnant with another man's child. Okay, she's not. She feels abandoned. She's not pregnant. She has to marry the bad guy, okay? Neil, heartbroken. He feels abandoned. So he marries someone else who wants to be a nun as well. So she's not happy about the marriage. She doesn't want to marry him. And for some reason, I put a note here that she doesn't bathe. I just found that weird. But okay, moving on. So then Skye is married to the wrong person. Neil's married to the wrong person. Blah, 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 blah. Skye spends years being abused by her husband. She's so strong. We love her. We support her. We're hoping she gets through this. She has 2 sons. Okay, this is where it really gets a little crazy, okay? Her husband's sister, so her sister-in-law, is really evil and is like stealing her stuff, and Skye like doesn't understand why the sister's still there because she's older and she should be married by now. Turns out that the brother and the sister, so Skye's husband, him and his sister were sleeping together. Incest. Fucking nasty. Okay, they were sleeping together. Disgusting. So Skye finds out about it. She gets assaulted again. Poor Skye. Something happens where there's an altercation. Her husband is falls down the stairs. I don't think she was pushed. He was pushed. He should have pushed the sister off the stairs too. Falls down the stairs. Sucks to suck. And he's paralyzed. Sucks to suck. But he doesn't die. So then she goes back to her father's house. And her father is very sick. That's why she goes back. She goes back to her hometown because her father is sick, and she becomes the clan leader. He's a pirate. I forgot to mention that. Her father is a pirate. So she ends up becoming like the leader of all of the ships and the ports because her brothers are very, very young. The next heirs are very young. So she's supposed to take control of that. And she's just like a badass pirate, basically. Cool. Something happens, blah, 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 blah. Time moves on, yada, yada, yada. Skye's a bad bitch, as always. We love her. Remember what happens to Neil's wife, but she's gone out of the picture. They can finally marry. Yay! Reunited, and it feels so good. No, Skye is a pirate. We remember this? Yeah, she decides that she needs to go on some voyage or whatever. They get overrun by other pirates. She gets kidnapped. Neil gets shot. She thinks that Neil is dead because she sees him get shot. Neil thinks that she's dead because she was kidnapped by pirates and nobody could ever find her. She is sent to a land far away. It's part 1. Now we're in part 2. Skye is taken. Neil is shot. What the fuck is happening? I literally put part 2. What the fuck? 2 months later? Question mark? What the fuck? Okay, Skye wakes up. Doesn't remember a goddamn thing. Amnesia. She has amnesia, people. If we haven't entered telenovela territory yet, we have now. A true telenovela. Okay, she was sold by the pirates to a brothel. Yes, yes. So there's this guy who owns a brothel, but he's kind of like a nice guy. Yeah, he kind of likes her. He thinks she's cute. He wants to like wine and dine her. So originally he buys her, trying to make her into an escort, a lady of the night, if you will, but he falls in love with her. So she sleeps with a guy from the brothel. Where the fuck is Neil? We don't know. Lots of confusion. Okay, now she's not working at the brothel. The guy who bought her loves her and decides to free her, but also proposes to her. And because she doesn't know anything of her past, remember she has amnesia, so she marries the guy from the brothel. Okay? Confusion. I know. Also, I put right here, again, the imagery in the sex scenes. The men refer to her, you know, as a honey oven. Bertrice Small, you are so fucking wrong for this. Okay, anyways, she marries him. She falls in love with him. He spoils her. He loves her. Cute. Real cute. Okay. Oh. Remember Neil's wife? His first wife? Something happened to her. So he thinks that his first wife is gone. The love of his life is gone. He marries someone else. I forgot about that. Yeah, he marries someone else. Didn't it take him too fucking long to marry someone else? And guess what? She's also 15. It's fine. We're moving on. Well, it's not fine, but we're moving on. Anyways, they both married 2 different people. And at this point, I was like, are they supposed to get married? Because now she's on her second husband. He's on his second wife. They don't know that they're alive. Maybe Neil was not the hero that we thought he was. Okay, maybe I was wrong. My bad. I thought the hero was someone else. Okay? Don't even know if we're going to see him again. Moving on. She gets pregnant with her second husband's child, and some random guy wants Skye for his own. Okay, she's beautiful, she's a badass, everybody wants her, everyone is coveting her. So this guy decides that he is going to take her for his mistress, but Skye doesn't agree, so he gets his feelings hurt. And then a girl from the brothel is in love with her husband and had been like waiting for her husband to propose to her. End up scheming together to break the marriage apart. Okay, Skye's husband, her second husband, murdered. He's murdered before the baby is born. So she goes back to London to have her baby and to escape danger. Now we're in part 3. Okay, where the fuck is Neil? We don't know. But hold up, how old are these people? Because they've gone through like 20 different lives. And then I updated it and I said, update, Skye is 20, has 3 kids, Neil is 30. It's been 5 years since they've last seen each other. Okay, going on. She gives birth to a girl, Willow, that's her name, and she lives in London for about a year, where Neil is, but they haven't come across each other yet. Oh, she still doesn't have her memory. Yeah. This is during the time of Bloody Mary, Catherine of Aragon. Okay, Queen Elizabeth is just about to become queen. Another bad guy wants Skye. Oh, well, he turned out to be a nice guy, but in the moment he was a bad guy. His name is Jeffrey, and he plans to seduce her and blackmail her, and she's a widow, and he's like, you know what? I need you to be my mistress. I'm gonna blackmail you with your past because you don't know your past. And like this whole thing, he makes a bet like how long it could take him to get her to be his mistress. She's a bad bitch. I'm telling you, every guy wants her. But they need to, men. They need to go away. Anyways, Jeffrey ends up kissing her, seducing her, and she thinks that he's a gentleman. They go to a party. He's married, by the way. Yeah, he doesn't like his wife because his wife can't give him sons. She becomes Jeffrey's mistress and gets pregnant with Jeffrey's child as she is his mistress. But something happens to Jeffrey's wife. I think like she gets sick. Oh, his son, his only heir, and his wife gets sick. Smallpox, I think. I don't know. Whatever disease was running amok at that time. But now that means Jeffrey is free to marry Skye. Skye's a widow. Jeffrey's wife just died. He needs an heir. They get married. Guess who's at the fucking wedding? Neil. Neil's at the wedding. Gosh, this is a long video. We're moving on. Neil's sad. She's marrying someone else. She has no memory. He's married to someone else. He falls into depression. That's sad. Yeah, Neil's wife, the one he married, she ends up working at a brothel. A brothel that Skye's first husband, Claire, the incest sister, works at. So that happened. Finally, there's some, like, okay, there's a lot of political shit that happens. They go to court, they come back from court, blah, 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 blah. There's a duel that happens that Neil is in, and something about that triggers a memory for Skye, and now she remembers everything. Finally. However, she's married, he's married, and she's actually in love with Jeffrey. So she does love him. And she goes into labor. Oh, she's pregnant with his child. She goes into labor and gives birth to a son. So now she has 3 sons and 1 daughter. Gave Jeffrey his heir. She can't be with Neil. She's married, she's in love, and the past is in the past. She becomes a favorite of the queen, but not really, because the queen's a bitch. Anyways, Neil's wife is disgraced because she worked at a brothel. Neil becomes a jealous asshole and somehow is mean to Skye, so Skye no longer loves him. 2 years pass. Neil's second wife dies. Skye is 22 now. Neil is 32, I think. A sickness passes over the town, and Skye's husband, Jeffrey, that she loved, her 3rd husband, he dies. And so does one of her sons. Gosh. She's really sad. She's really in mourning because she actually loved him. Their bad guy wants her. Yeah. She is just too sexy for these men. And another bad guy wants her. And the queen wants Skye to marry this bad guy because the queen is actually in love with this bad guy but can't marry him because she's the queen. So she wants Skye to marry him because she knows Skye doesn't love him and that there won't be any competition because she knows that Skye doesn't love this bad guy. So basically she wants Skye to be in an abusive marriage and kind of like forces her into that situation. Okay, she meets this guy named Adam who is a pirate, ? And they become lovers, but also like besties. They're kind of like besties. They're not really lovers. And Skye realizes that she needs a man's protection because this is a man's world. So she ends up marrying Neil! She ends up marrying Neil. Okay, she's 25. I think Neil is 35 at this point. It's been 10 years since they were first married. Okay, I think we're finally gonna marry Neil. Yes, because I am invested. Skye's not happy about the marriage though, and I was very confusion for a second, but it's because Neil was kind of a jealous asshole when she was married to her 3rd husband. There was this whole thing, they had an argument, so she's mad. But he spends some time seducing her. They fall back in love. She gets pregnant. Okay, remember Queen Elizabeth was rude to her? Well, Skye is a pirate, so she decides that she's going to steal a bunch of Queen Elizabeth's ships. She's gonna, take all of her ships and her money, and she's gonna make it seem like it was someone else. Well, Queen Elizabeth kind of realizes that Skye's playing her, but she doesn't have any proof, so she arrests Skye when she's pregnant, separates her from Neil. She's in this tower, gives birth to a baby girl in this tower, and she's going to be essentially killed for piracy, but the queen is like just trying to prove it. Anyways, everybody loves Skye, so people are really upset that she's arrested, and they end up coming to her defense, and she somehow leaves that whole precarious situation. She goes back to Neil, has a bunch more babies, and they live happily ever after. The end. That's the end of the story. What the fuck? That was 1,000 different plot twists. Not a single thought. Did I guess anything that was going to actually happen? No. And it turns out in the second book, I'm going to spoil some more stuff for you guys. It turns out in the second book, it still follows Skye. Neil dies, and Skye goes into a brothel. A harem is what someone said. And then, I don't know what happens. She ends up marrying someone else, I guess, who was a nice guy too. So, oh, political war between Queen Elizabeth and Mary, Queen of Scots is the second book as well. Ding! That's it. Thanks for joining me on this TED Talk de la novela. What a journey we've had. All right. I love you guys. I gotta hop on the live show now. That was the book. I hope I did it justice. I hope I wasn't talking too long, even though I know I was. Hope you enjoyed this video. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.